But what made you think I'm anything more than an adult child? Most of us playing with cars in the garage, we're just adult children. And we have adult budgets, and we do, you know, adult child things like... Hello and welcome to the shop. I'm Jared and this is the Questionable Garage, and it's really sunny out. I'm having to look at the sun so you guys can see kind of what I'm trying to talk about, and it's bright. But today we're getting to do something a little bit different, special, fun. I get to share with you a new car, and it's not a project car. I didn't initially really plan to show it off, but some of you guys are just really stinking good. And when I say really stinking good, you noticed in the background of the Try Hard episodes, a pickup truck, and you're like, wait, Jared, that doesn't look like your old truck. Even though I kind of tried really hard to just make it look like the old truck. Actually, that was total coincidence. But we're talking about our dailies, work trucks, the trucks that we have to pull trailers, you know, like our 48-foot enclosed down there that maybe we'll do a little bit more of a tour on. But we're gonna talk my truck history really quick, and then I'm gonna show you this truck, and I'm gonna tell you about one just absolutely massive problem with it. That's it's been a little bit of a letdown. If we go way back in our truck history, we go back to our 2016 Nissan Titan XD with the Cummins 5-liter diesel. That was the first new vehicle I have ever purchased in my life. The wife and I had before that a 2003 6-liter Power Stroke F250 that was not doing too well. So we went, saw the brand new truck, fell in love with it, and it was a good truck. It kind of falls under that heavy duty half ton. It wasn't quite a 2500 or 250, and it wasn't a you know, half-ton truck. It was like right in the middle. Really enjoyed it, did some really good stuff with it, and then it turns out Nissan really let us down in that regard. You could not get parts with it on our way back from Car Trek filming. It left us stranded in Wichita. Went to the Wizard shop, did our best to get that thing working, took it all apart, back together, and within 3 miles, it was letting us down again. So, using a little bit of a contact from Mr. Tyler Hoover, Hoovy's Garage, I went and bought kind of one of my just like dream tow rigs. It was a 2015 GMC Denali 3500 heavy duty, dually, every option under the sun. It was fantastic. Wife kind of gave me 2 instructions on the new truck. I called her and told her, hey, I'm stranded, need to get home, we need a new truck. She said, don't buy a Ford. We had some we had bad experiences. We had a Power Stroke, a 6-liter. You guys understand. There's some things that go wrong with those engines, and we had most of it bulletproofed. And then she said, don't get a dually. So I listened to half of what she told me, and that truck was absolutely amazing. We went and retrofitted it with basically every part that Banks offers to improve a Duramax, and when it comes to Duramax trucks, I don't think there's really a company that's more like just has a longer history than Gale Banks and Banks Performance. So that truck has been phenomenal. We put a lot of miles on it between Car Trek, between my own trips. It was an amazing truck. I had nothing wrong with it. Did everything we needed to do. I'll say this is a question for any of you guys that are hot shotters. What I've never been able to figure out is so many hot shotters are driving around in the base model trucks. Why don't you get a Denali or the King Country for the Fords, or is it Lariat, King Lariat? I can't remember what Dodge calls their top trim level, but why don't you guys you live in the truck, why not get a really nice one? But at any rate, there was nothing wrong with it, but there came a time where I was talking with the wife, and if you remember in September, I had to go back to Bowling Green a whole lot of times. I had just a ton of miles I needed to go ahead and put on a truck. Had 120,000 miles on the other one, which is nothing to sneeze at, but a local dealer had a Chevy and GMC top trim level trucks, basically brand new for really good price. And she said, why don't you just go look at them and see, and if it works out, it works out. Guys, I really hope you can find someone as wonderful as my wife. She pretty much supports all of the stupidity that we do sometimes, and just is my #1 cheerleader. So I'm gonna brag on her because really without her support, we wouldn't get to do any of these crazy things. So good on you. But anyway, she said, go take a look. I went in and we ended up with this. That's right, it's a 2022 GMC 3500 heavy duty Denali. Basically the 7-year newer version of our old truck in a pearl white instead of that boring fleet white, so it's a little extra prettier. We got all kinds of really cool features that, you know, let me show you around. I will say the number one feature that I absolutely love about this thing, and it all comes down to when I'm towing, is the number of cameras on it. It has a camera here, and here, and here, here, and here. And it even has 2 right there. Cameras tend to just be really reliable, but if some of this tech starts breaking, it's gonna be a thing to find out. But along with all the crazy cameras, we've got the fun tailgates. Just the power drops down like normal, integrated gooseneck stuff. All the cool things. If you needed to do, wait, there we go. Push. If you're running extra long stuff and you want your little bed extender, you can do that. Or, I'm trying to remember, I think it's this button first. And then, listen, I don't use this feature a lot. Nope, I did it wrong. We do this, and then we do this, and then we do this, and then we do that. And we can now safely just, you know, easily walk into the bed. I'll be honest, that step has always worked pretty well for me too, but you know, it's cool. Also, make sure you don't ever do that if you have a trailer hitch in it. Otherwise, if you have that in, you're gonna break that. Now, under hood, you find a familiar name for pretty much all of the GMC and Chevrolet truck lineup, and that is a Duramax, a 6.6 liter Duramax, single turbo. They have used that name for a very long time. This is an L5P generation. It is one of the first engines that is basically engineered from the ground up for all of the current emissions equipment that diesels are required to run. Behind the Duramax is the traditional family member as well, and you see it right here, is an Allison transmission. It is a 10-speed automatic transmission, which kind of keeps this thing humming along right in its power delivery and efficiency ranges. So let's go for a drive and talk about how that is, how quiet it is, and I will let you know the one thing that just has really been disappointing about this truck. Now you may be asking yourself, Jared, why would you buy a new truck if something really bugged you about it? Well, I didn't know it was a thing initially when I bought the truck. I've put almost 22,000 miles on it since getting it, I think it was May. Drive a lot, especially, you know, when you're going back and forth to Kentucky 3 times in 1 month. There's a lot of driving involved. Now, some of the things that I really do like about the interior over the 2015 is that infotainment is substantially better. They seamlessly allow you to have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, things that did not work well on the previous generation. You have got a wireless charging spot where you can drop your phone and it charges. You got a heads-up display. The just overall touch and feel of everything in the truck feels way more modern when you compare it to the 2015. There is a live rear view camera feed. Rather than just a mirror, you can set it up and have an actual camera feed. Which I really enjoy when it's kind of dark out. It does a good job so you can see in the twilight hours. One thing I really like about this truck is its fuel economy, something I expected it to be better, especially with that 10-speed Allison. It's able to keep the engine in a good efficiency range. But I didn't realize that if you really drive smart, how good it can be. I was intentionally hypermiling the truck and got 25.8 miles a gallon, verified with the fill up. It wasn't just instant calculation, distance traveled, the fuel I put back into it, nearly 26 miles a gallon in a truck that is just, I believe, shy of 8,000 pounds. This is a big truck. It's meant to do big truck things. We do big truck things. One feature I lost in the 2022 that I had in the 2015 was the rear seat entertainment. No more DVD player. But if I'm being perfectly honest, I even joked at the dealership about this, that how this one didn't have it. They pretty much never have anyone order that as an option in their truck. I do have the OnStar with the 4G hotspot. I have good enough cell coverage. I've not needed to use it yet, but it is something I'll probably turn on just in case I'm on the road and, you know, need to do YouTuber things, can upload. All right, so that's enough talking about what I like about the truck. Really, I like just about everything about this truck. There's just one thing that just really bugs me and kind of bums me out about this thing. And that's, it's hard to say. So all of the modern engines, their horsepower and torque numbers are getting really impressive. This one is quite impressive. They're rated at 435 horsepower and 910 foot-pounds of torque. 910. But that's the problem. 910 is a lot, and it is a big number. And I do not have a PhD in math. I mean, I was good at it, but I would not call myself an expert in math. But I am like 99.2% certain 910 is less than 1,000. No, I'd say like 99.9%. I'm sure there's some type of trigonometry that makes 910 1,000. But it's not 1,000. And I've had this truck at least 3 months. So that means it's time you can start modifying it. Really, you should own a vehicle about 3 months before you start going totally crazy with the modifications. So I'm giving myself permission now that we can start modifying this truck, right? Now, I know what some of you may be thinking. This is a new truck. It has a warranty, and it does. And the smart thing would be to not do anything that could put that warranty at risk. This is the Questionable Garage. You know what channel you guys tuned into, right? The Questionable Garage, where we make questionable choices. Not stupid ones, just questionable. Now, something I do also want to address in the world of diesels. Unfortunately, they do have a lot of emissions equipment on it. I have no desire, I am not smart enough to argue strongly for or against them. Sure, there's times that the tailpipe emissions are lower, but they still go into regen and run super hot and burn off all the soot and stuff that is collected. I'm not smart enough to know if that's a net positive, or if all of our special government juice, the DEF fluids that we're running, are a net positive with all the waste that goes along with it. That's not what I want to argue. What I am going to bring up is, unfortunately, a lot of the EPA scrutiny on all of us as tuners and builders and customizers and race car builders and drag race, everything has been a result of the diesel tuners. The instant, immediate deleting of everything and tuning an engine to run inefficiently and roll coal. Any of these modern computerized diesels, even if you don't have any of your scrubbers, if you delete everything, you should not have black soot coming out the tailpipe. That is a bad tune. Black soot is unburnt diesel. You're literally putting money out the tailpipe to look cool to 20 people. Carolina squats and rolling coal, it's not going to be cool. And pretty much with definitive 100%, the reason the entire automotive tuning world is under scrutiny right now is because you guys are billowing out the black smoke. Our friend Brent, PFI Speed, all of his fines, it's not from Hondas on E85. It's not from our Supras on E85 or race fuel. It's not from the short drag racing guys. It's all of this scrutiny on the industry comes from rolling coal. So stop it, please. That brings me to my point. I'm wanting to tune my vehicle, my diesel truck. How are we going to do it? Well, you've got companies that have learned how to make power and run a diesel very clean with all the emissions equipment. Banks is a very big diesel tuner, and they work really hard to maintain all of their emission certifications. My 2015 made, again, fully tuned, all in, made what this truck makes stock. And it did it with all of its emissions components, all the DEF regens, and with acceptable tailpipe emissions. The companies out there getting their federal certifications and CARB certifications for emissions outputs are what are ultimately going to save the tuning industry. It's, again, we're not arguing whether or not you should have to do it. Unfortunately, the way it is right now, we do have to do it. So when I started to research the tuner options for my 2022, really only two popped up. One, of course, is Banks with their Derringer, I think it's Derringer tuner setup, where it kind of acts a lot like our old school tuner stuff, the stuff we had to do in the 80s, where you're tricking all the sensors to develop and get the results that you want. You're making it see airflow and fuel outputs the way you want it to get the intended tuning result. It is not a hard flash of the computer, really doesn't leave much of a footprint, but you do have to unplug and plug in some extra piggyback devices and things like that to achieve your desired results. It has a couple extra connections in the engine bay and did deliver good power, but I wanted more. So that's why we went with this particular tuner, the Edge HT2. Now, one of the biggest reasons I went with this particular tuner versus the Derringer is it actually will reflash the calibration of the computer, which is normally a big deal when it comes to these GM ECUs. You normally have to send them off, and really most of the modern ECUs need to get sent in, they need to get bench unlocked to be able to accept tunes and everything like that. Edge offers what they call the locksmith. It's a process that you're able to plug in, unlock the TCM and ECM, and you're able to flash the ECUs all on your own. You don't have to send things out. Your truck's not down for a bunch of days. It's something that you do, takes 20, 30 minutes, and you're up and running in your own driveway. No downtime. I really like that. The other reason I really like it is they have a dyno sheet where it makes 1,100 foot-pounds of torque. If we go for kill, it's not your towing number, but it's your fun number. And again, I'm not a math expert, but I'm pretty sure 1,150 is more than 1,000. And I'm really excited for that. So this is the locksmith stuff. This doesn't stay permanently. There's a process of where you plug this into a couple different things, give it power, and then you're able to flash afterwards. So this just goes temporarily, and then we get to plug that in and have some fun. So I'm gonna set up a camera under hood, and we're gonna get the truck unlocked, ready to tune, and then we're gonna tune it, and we'll go out and drive it stock power numbers, and then we'll do it again cranked up to the fun numbers, the more than 1,000. I get it, yes, it's a childish thing to just need something to have more than 1,000 something, but what made you think I'm anything more than an adult child? Most of us playing with cars in the garage, we're just adult children, and we have adult budgets, and we do, you know, adult child things like make our brand new truck have more than 1,000 foot-pounds of torque, because it should. This is America. Everything should have 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. Maybe not. No, yeah, everything. Yeah, I can't think of a single circumstance where all that torque just is not necessary. All right, now, this may seem odd. We're gonna read some instructions because I'd rather not brick things. All right, so we're doing ECM first. So that is the block and this harness. Ran into a small problem when we were getting our ECU unlocked, and I will show you that here. This connector that plugs into the locksmith, when I plugged it in, the pins slid out slightly, and I didn't quite realize that. And what ended up happening, our little locksmith box kept power cycling really rapidly. Like, I could hear it clicking, and it hurt the unit. Things happen. If you ever are doing this tune, when you slide it in, make sure the wires don't unseat. It's not a common thing. I will say this, the tech support from Edge has been fantastic. Dealing with Kobe, he worked through everything with me, and they overnighted out the new stuff to get it working. I would have been doing that this morning, getting the tune on, so we'd have more time for driving, but we're working on another project, and that project decided to be a problem. But right now, there we go. Unlock is now complete. So we will get the whole truck put back together, do our tune, and go for a drive. Finally. Looking forward to fixing this truck's problem. Finally. We need 1,000 of something. All right, finally, we can do stock with options. Fuel economy tune, and the fuel economy tune actually netted some pretty good power. We're pulling a heavy trailer, we're pulling a light trailer, and this is what we're doing. This is just driving the truck around for fun. Yeah, see, do not tow. Sure, what options do we have? Not going to change the rev limiter, not going to... Really pretty much all stock. Speed limiter, as much fun as it is to go blasting down the highways in a truck like this at more than 95 miles an hour, you probably shouldn't. It's 8,000 pounds. So I actually always keep that. We got stock tire size. The drive mode, that's if you want it to always come on with an exhaust brake or tow. Throttle boost, I'm actually really happy with the throttle mapping of this. If you're going to be idling a lot, need higher idle, there's all kinds of options. So we're going to flash a tune. I got a friend coming by, and we're going to go for a drive in the truck. And why are you even asking? We'll see. Extreme.
Extreme?
I was like, are you sure you want to install extreme? And I'm like, is that even a question? Like,
it's a questionable choice.
Not only if you're towing. Also, if you don't know, this is Ridge. Ridge works with Randy at GRC. He helped a lot with Johnny Rev back in the day. That was your big debut.
My YouTube first, I guess. I don't know. Who knows?
I'll just say this. Buckle passenger seatbelt.
So I need to do that.
Do I need to do that? In case you haven't noticed, it's hard to see because the cameras are facing us. Got dark really quick, as it does now. We got light in here, and it makes it really distracting. So you were there the first day I rolled up with this truck at Randy's. It did exactly what I wanted. Randy was just staring for a while and was like, wait, did you get a new truck?
Honestly, I didn't know that either. It's like the same truck, but different, I guess.
A little bit different. He was like, Randy's question was, did you wash your truck? I was like, kinda. We kinda washed it. But, I mean, do you agree with my complaint? The biggest problem with this truck is it only made 910 foot-pounds of torque from the factory. That's not 1,000, right? Are you an expert at math?
I was pretty smart.
So you can confirm 910 is not 1,000.
It's not.
Okay. I will tell you that
Gets down.
that cutout may or may not have been speed limiter that quickly.
It definitely gets down. That's scary in a big truck.
That's when I was tuning it. It was like, ask the options, like, would you like to remove the speed limiter? I'm like, no, an 8,000 pound missile does not need to go ripping more than 95 miles an hour.
And it comes on really good.
I'm just gonna say, watching the speedometer in a truck just go.
It's not really laggy. It definitely comes on. It comes on strong.
I'll be honest though, Tryhard was really expensive, so my wallet doesn't want to do a burnout right now. There's 4 tires back there. They're pricey. Oh, chirp.
Yep.
Chirp.
It's good. It's got some power, man.
It just goes. And the speed limiter again.
Yeah, that's miles per gallon for sure. That's good.
I do think I watched the fuel gauge go down a little bit. Yeah, we knocked 5 miles just right off the range right there.
That's strong. It really is.
Now, to be fair, to get the full 1,000 foot-pounds plus that these do, they need to be loaded. A diesel needs a load to
break it out.
But
I can see the truck like this have that kind of power.
Yeah, you see hips this wide. You
right.
don't expect it to be a triathlete too.
It gets down, dude. It really does.
Faster than your Subaru. Check engine light comes on. It's just like my Subaru.
It's beating the Subaru because this runs.
All right, go get your Subaru. Let's run them right now.
Okay. This runs, though.
Your Subaru's doing Subaru things.
Doing Subaru things, man.
But I hope you guys enjoyed the tour of the new truck. Again, it was something where I wasn't really trying to flaunt, but you guys are too stinking smart and immediately noticed in the comment section that it wasn't the same truck. It was just a practical daily thing, and I've righted the wrong that General Motors didn't quite get right. We have 1,000 foot-pounds of torque now. Actually, in this particular mode, 1,100 plus to the ground, which is... it's the right amount. That's not too much, right, Ridge?
No, it's definitely not. It's strong. It really is.
It's just the right amount. So, but yeah, that wraps it up for this episode. I'm Jared, reminding you guys to always make questionable choices. And Ridge,
man, you put me on the spot again.
I gave you
good
warning.
Friends. Bad decision, maybe?
No, questionable. We don't. Gosh, this thing is just dumb. Like it's not bad decisions. Questionable. So
questionable decisions.
So good friends.
Good friends. Questionable decisions.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Sweet. Did I do okay?